Long before the names of Plato or Pythagoras were whispered across the Aegean, there was Thoth, the scribe of the gods. He who measured the heavens, who taught men the art of writing, of number, of reason. In the quiet halls of eternity, his voice became the first philosophy, not written in ink but in the stars themselves. When the empires of Egypt faded into dust, the sacred words of Thoth were said to be sealed within hidden libraries, buried beneath desert sands or guarded by those sworn to silence. Only fragments survived, and from those fragments, centuries later, would emerge something wondrous, a collection of divine dialogues known as the Hermetica. In those pages spoke a new voice, neither wholly Greek nor wholly Egyptian, but both. He called himself Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great Hermes, for he was said to unite the wisdom of the three worlds, earth, heaven, and the mind between. Through him Thoth spoke again, clothed now in the language of reason and revelation. "The all is mind," Hermes declared. From the nous, the divine intellect, the cosmos unfolded, not by chance, but by thought. Stars, souls, and atoms alike were ideas dreamed by a single eternal consciousness. As above, so below, he taught, for the order of heaven mirrors the order of man. To know the cosmos, one must first know the self. But the soul, born of light, grew enamored with its reflection. It descended through the spheres of creation and clothed itself in flesh, and so began the long forgetting, the fall into the prison of matter where the divine spark within us sleeps, waiting to awaken. Across centuries, seekers have turned to the Hermetica not for belief, but for Gnosis, the knowledge that liberates. Each verse is a mirror, inviting us to look inward, to find that the temple of God was never in stone or scroll, but in the heart that remembers. To read these words is to be reminded, you were never merely human. Hermes speaks of a second birth, not of the body, but of the mind. When the seeker, weary of the illusions of the world, turns inward and beholds the divine light, the nous awakens within, the veil is lifted, and in that moment man becomes what he has always been, a child of the stars reborn in truth. True alchemy, Hermes taught, is not the turning of lead to gold, but the transmutation of ignorance into wisdom, the merging of opposites, male and female, light and shadow, body and spirit, until all things are one. The great work is not found in the furnace of matter, but in the fire of the heart. 15 centuries later in Florence, a monk named Marsilio Ficino would translate the Hermetic writings for the first time in the West. And as those words spread through Europe, philosophy itself was reborn. Artists, alchemists, and thinkers looked again to the heavens, believing that divinity lived not above, but within. The age of light had begun. Empires rise and fall, faiths are born and forgotten. But the voice of Hermes endures, it whispers still, all is one. All is mind. The divine is not something to be worshipped, but something to be remembered. For within every human heart burns the same flame that once lit the temples of Thoth. And to those who listen, the gods still speak. You've been watching the Esoteric Unveiled, exploring hidden orders, forgotten truths, and forbidden knowledge. Like and subscribe.